Hello, my friend, wherever you are. I'm sending you love, the power of positivity, and I will be your vitamin D. Welcome to the Gazillionaires Club, and in this video, we will be talking about your new digital town square. Now, some of you, including myself, yes, it's great. We finally have a voice on social media, and it's going to be a new era, new frontier, and we're fighting evil spirits, aka butthurt people.
The only essential oil in the universe where you can take it and become enlightened, or you can use it to battle evil spirits, aka butthurt people.
Okay, now let's take an example. Actually, let me start. How much do you really know about how the world operates? I mean, we all have a different opinion, but it seems to me, right? It seems to me that the majority consensus do believe that there are a group of people, pretty much just like they run everything, what we see, what we hear, what we know, collecting information so they can predict how we think. I mean, it's there. But social media have been doing a really good job at censoring those, and the mainstream media the same way, right? So how much do you really know how the world operates? And what are your takes on World War I and World War II? Was it planned or it just happened? The more I look at these global organization, like the World Economic Forum, the IMF, the United Nations. I'm sure there are more, but those are the only things that I can come up with right now. People that not a lot of people survived, World War I to now, because people get old. But there are a few people that's still alive today that fought during World War II. And if you talk to a lot of these people, in their mind, there's good and there's bad. But not a lot of people will tell you that it's just a production. So when we look at life like a movie, I mean, in general, when you watch a movie, there's the good guy and there's the bad guy. And even the survivors, people that fought during, World War II, even years and years later, I worked at the retirement home, so I met a lot of these veterans, right? And you talk to them, it's still like they remember distinctly about the war, the good and the bad, what happened. But not a lot of them acknowledge the money that was driven for the war, and how much profit were made, and how everything is just a movie. Like, when you watch a movie, you get caught up in it and you're like, yay, the good guy and the bad guy. But if you see it for what it is, like a production, then it's really going to blow your mind what we are facing today. Too sexy for my body, too sexy for my body, too sexy for my body. As much as I want to believe that, there's good and bad, and I do acknowledge that there's good and bad, but the stimulation that we're living in is a production, is a byproduct. And what I mean by that, when we look at the Trumps and the Clintons era, let's start with the 9/11, the 2008 financial crisis. Even when Trump came along, nobody got arrested, and people that spoke out, they either died, they go missing, they died in prison. Nobody is being held accountable other than the people that spoke out. And even up till now, when Trump became president, there were so many evidence of people should be held accountable. Nobody went to jail, nobody went to prison. We see exactly what the Fed and the government and the politicians are doing. Nobody's being held accountable. Elon bought Twitter, and it's pretty much I get it. If you look at the world from good and bad, you're like, oh, I get it. Here are the good guys and here are the bad guys. But have you ever stopped and thought for a second that everything is just a show? And with this whole Andrew Tate being banned from everything, like social media, bank accounts, PayPal, Uber, and Airbnb, you kind of have to question your reality. Am I seeing, or what is what I'm seeing is true, or what I'm seeing is true? Because if every aspect of our lives is being manipulated, why would you think, or why would you even feel certain that what you're seeing is true when everything else is being manipulated? And at the end of the day, I think a lot of people ended up joining the dark force. Not all, but a lot, because your life is not a living hell. The moment you go against it, boy, they can lock you up, they can kill you, they can rob you financially, defamation, such as character assassination. And I do believe that, Donald Trump and Elon, they are part of the globalists. But then again, not everyone within the group, is bad. Some of them do have good intentions. But if you are a millionaire with some status, boy, you have to be up there. You have to know the people. Otherwise, you're not gonna survive, my friend. So, with Twitter, I know everyone is excited. I'm excited, because at least there's some spark of light for humanity, but then at the same time, I, always in the back of my head, until people are being held accountable, until we really, really see the change in the system, other than, instead of just like trolling, laughing about it, making memes, nothing is gonna change. And, that is the reality of it.
COVID-19! COVID-19! COVID-19!
In the back of my head, like, I try to take everything with a grain of salt. And the reason why that is because, when you see so many manipulations that's going on, you just can't help it but you be a skeptic, and that's what I am. I mean, I like the idea that, President Trump came into office. I like the idea that Elon is trolling all the, the fake people. The fact that he bought over Twitter, is a good thing. But in the back of my head, the digital town square, the data collection and the Neuralinks and the crypto space, I mean, we're still headed in the same direction. It might be a different story, but the outcome is still the same. So, it's just something to be aware of, okay? And that's why when we look at the matrix as a whole, the only way out is in.
Bitch, please!
You gotta stop living the matrix. I pay attention, but I don't really let it get to me. There are some people that I follow, and sometimes, you gotta play the system, right? But what happened is every time when I get mad at the things that people say, because they probably, say it from their perspective, but what I usually do for myself is I go and exercise. And trust me, my friend, the moment you go and you warn yourself out, you get that good workout of fresh air, you are going to appreciate life even more, because the more attention you give to this stimulation, I call it a stimulation. If you haven't checked out my other video, the previous one regarding AI is running this whole economy, and eventually that will be the switch to for AI to take over, that's run by the cabal. So that's where I see the world is heading, where humanity is heading. There will always be that minor or a very small minority that will fight for freedom, that will fight for, righteousness, principles, integrity, what it's like to be a human being. But the majority of humanity will be with the cabal, simply because they don't want their life to be a living hell. And it's not just their life, it's the people around them, the lives of the people around them. It's kind of like if you really want to spy on someone, you don't necessarily spy on that person, spy on the people around them. That's how you get most of the information. So that is my take on Twitter. Let me know what you think, where humanity is heading. Use the hashtag Zillionaires Club and we will get this conversation going. 13 minutes, not bad. 14 minutes now. So much love. I will see you in the next video. Ta-da.